Love is not an insurance policy against heartbreak, against betrayal, against pain, and it's definitely not an insurance policy against negative experiences with people, maybe the person you love and the person who loves you. This is something I take such strong interest in. I'm a personal trainer, and the reason I have been in this industry for 8 years and the reason I continue to love what I do can be summarized in the fact that personal training is referred to as the relationship business. It's all about personal connection. It's all about personal relationships, and that's all that a coaching relationship is. And it's why I've been able to thrive and work with oh my God, over 100 people in the last 8 years. It's been really exciting. It's been really awesome. And for me, human connection, really human connection, is what I care about the most in this lifetime. Connection in general. Um, and I want to go a little bit into love. And I don't want you to think romantic love only, and I don't want you to think family love only. I want you to think love as a force, not as a feeling, but as a force. Now, love is not an insurance policy. What do I mean by that? Someone could love you dearly. Someone could feel a lot of strong love for you. Someone could have a lot of strong love for you. You could have strong love for them, but it doesn't mean that they won't hurt you. It doesn't mean that you won't get hurt. It doesn't mean that you won't hurt them. In fact, more than not, the opposite, you know? But love doesn't keep you safe by itself. What does keep you safe is character, is decisions, choices, integrity. So I'm going to give you a very clear example. I'm going to give you two parallels. If I am loved by someone who is lazy, someone, let's say, for example, who's morbidly obese, who is quite careless with their health, who's quite careless in their life in general, who does not live with moral code, I promise you, they're going to let me down significantly sooner, and the letdown will be unbelievable. Versus if I am loved by a friend, and we're going to make this friendship, right? I am loved by a friend, and this man is a martial artist. This man is fit. This man stands for something. This man lives by his code every single day. I promise you, I am so much safer being loved by someone with code and someone with integrity and someone with morality. And I'm not saying the obese person does not have morality. I'm saying someone who lives the lifestyle of a martial artist and someone who lives the lifestyle, for example, of being disciplined with their diet, being disciplined with their body, that's someone who acts on his values every day. And that's the important part. And that's like the real draw for me behind fitness and why I'm so pulled towards it. It's not about the physique, it's not about the look, it's not about like judging someone for their weight, not at all. It's about the kind of person that you become by making decisions and sticking to your values every day. And I promise you, you specifically, you will be safer loving and being loved by someone that acts upon their values every day. That's what integrity is. And you want to be loved in integrity. You don't want to be loved like emotionally. You want to be loved with integrity. And let's build upon that even further. A lot of you will relate to some of these examples that I'm about to use, and we're going to get very, very specific with it. And I want to talk about my childhood first, my upbringing, and my first exposure to love. Um, your father, as a man, will be your first idea on what a man is supposed to be, on what support is supposed to be, on how you're supposed to be. That's your first idea of what a man is. As a girl or as a woman, your father is your first love. So he will dictate a lot of your understanding of the world, and vice versa for a man. Your mother is your first love, always. And that will dictate the way that you see women and the way that you believe a woman should be, and that will dictate your nervous system signature in what you see and what you seek in women. And this is more a little bit on the familial and romantic side, Sigmund Freud goes real deep into this, some really, really crazy stuff. If you've never been exposed to his materials, a lot of beautiful summaries here on YouTube, a lot of his own work as well. Or you could just use AI to like get a summary on his ideas. Um, but my father, so I was raised in a pretty violent environment. There's a lot of violence at home, but also a lot of lack of discipline. A lot of overeating, a lot of just sitting around and watching TV all day, So I didn't have like, this example of a man that gets after it every day and is full of integrity. I also knew in his personal and business life, he was one big, massive liar. He cheated his business partners. He cheated a lot of people for money. So imagine, what kind of love will this person have and what kind of love will this person show, regardless of how they feel towards you, but just on character. Do you think things are going to end up okay if you are loving and being loved by someone with no integrity? Because what makes you believe that they will suddenly have integrity in loving you if they didn't have integrity in their own life? I think that's the important question. And that's like the most important lesson that I learned living where I did and living how I did as a child. Integrity number one and code number one. And typically, a man who loves you and a man who takes care of you, a friend, a family member, even an employer or a coworker, is someone with code and integrity. So always don't screen for love, don't screen for strong emotion in a friendship, in a connection. Don't screen through desperation, because desperate energy is going to bring a desperate relationship. But always screen for integrity. Screen for someone's ability to stick to their values, and that will keep you safe. You're at a much higher likelihood of having support and having true supported love. And it is a much better insurance policy to love and be loved by and with people with integrity than people who just feel very strongly. And that's my take.